Two ex-Apple designers leave the company. They have an idea. The phone is over. They raise $230 million. They put a laser on a pin you wear on your shirt. Time magazine puts it on the cover. The product ships in April 2024. A YouTube reviewer kills it in 8 days. 12 months later, every single device is a paperweight. Hey, I'm Rihan. This is the Stack Story, long-form tech told as stories. Today, the spectacular 12-month rise and fall of the Humane AI Pin. Let's go. April 19, 2024. Marques Brownlee, the most popular tech reviewer on YouTube, audience of 19 million, publishes a video to his channel. The title, The Worst Product I've Ever Reviewed. For now, the product in the video is a small square device with a glowing screen that you clip to your shirt. It costs $699 plus $24 a month. Brownlee, in the most measured voice he can manage, spends 25 minutes carefully demonstrating how, well, it doesn't really work. The battery dies in 2 hours. The laser projection on your palm is impossible to read in daylight. It hallucinates answers to basic questions. It overheats. Within a week, the video has 8 million views. Within a month, 20 million. And the company that made the device, Humane, watches 1.5 years of orchestrated hype collapse in real time on YouTube. But to understand how Humane went from a Time magazine cover to a paperweight in 12 months, you have to rewind. Past the launch, past the reviews, past the laser on your palm. All the way back to 2016, inside Apple Park, where 2 of the most senior people in the company are quietly deciding to leave. Imran Chaudhry is, by 2016, one of the most respected human interface designers on Earth. He has been at Apple for 20 years. He worked on the original iPhone team, directly under Steve Jobs. He is, according to his colleagues and the public Apple patent record, one of the people who co-designed the iPhone's home screen, the grid of icons, the swipe to unlock, the way an app opens and closes, the visual language 1 billion people interact with every day. Imran's fingerprints are on it. He is British-Pakistani, born in London, raised between cultures. He is, by most accounts, the kind of designer who carries himself like an artist, soft-spoken, intense, deeply opinionated about how technology should feel. Bethany Bonjornia is, by 2016, one of the most senior software engineering leads at Apple. She started at Apple in 2008. She rose to become a director of software engineering, running iOS and iPadOS launches. She managed the people who ship the operating systems that power every iPhone and iPad on Earth. She is meticulous, organized, project manager intense, the kind of executive whose calendar is the most valuable resource in the room. Imran and Bethany meet at Apple. They start dating. They get married, and in 2016, together, they decide to leave Apple at the same time, to start something. Imran has, at this point, given more than 20 years of his career to one company. He is leaving behind one of the most prestigious design jobs in tech. Bethany is leaving behind a senior engineering directorship. Between them, they could probably walk into a head of design role at any major tech company in the world. Instead, they choose to do the thing 2 ex-Apple people very rarely do. They bet on themselves. They start a company together. They name it Humane. And for the next 7 years, almost nobody outside their immediate circle knows what Humane is actually building. Humane is officially founded in 2018. The product is undefined. The team is small. The thesis is a single idea. A sentence that Imran and Bethany will repeat in every pitch meeting for the next half-decade. The smartphone, they believe, is going to end. The era of staring at a glass rectangle is going to give way to a new era of ambient, AI-powered computing that just exists around you, without you having to look at it. Humane is going to build the device that replaces the smartphone. Not improve it, replace it. This is, even by Silicon Valley standards, an aggressive thesis. But the founders' Apple resumes are gold. Investors who never normally back a single-product hardware company line up to give Humane money. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, invests personally. Marc Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, invests. Tiger Global, SoftBank, Microsoft, Qualcomm, LG, even Volvo. By late 2023, before a single product has shipped, Humane has raised over $230 million across multiple rounds. $230 million to a private company with no public product. The thing the company is building has not even been demonstrated outside the team. Investors are betting, essentially, on the founder's previous job titles. For 5 full years, 2018 to 2023, Humane operates in stealth. The headquarters in San Francisco's Soma district is essentially a secret. The team grows to 250 people. The company files patents. Engineers, designers, AI researchers, all working on a product the public never sees. Occasional press leaks describe a wearable AI device, but nothing more specific. The hype builds because of the absence of information, not the presence of it. The Apple mystique is in full effect. April 2023, Vancouver, TED Conference. Imran Chaudhry walks onto the TED stage to deliver a talk titled The Disappearing Computer and a World Where You Can Finally Look Up. He is, characteristically, soft-spoken, beautifully dressed, magnetic. He pulls a small object out of his jacket and clips it onto the front of his shirt. He doesn't show what it is. He just starts talking to it. The device responds in a clear, synthetic voice. He asks it for a phone call. It places the call. He asks it to project an image of a chocolate bar he's holding. A laser fires from the pen onto his palm. The audience can see, faintly, a small white image. He calls it a screen made of light. The TED audience, normally jaded, audibly gasps. The talk goes viral on YouTube within days. Tech Twitter explodes. Suddenly, everybody is asking the same question. What is this thing? When can I buy it? November 2023. Time magazine puts the Humane AI Pin on the cover of its Best Inventions of 2023 issue. The product has not shipped. There are no reviews. There are no public benchmarks. There is, essentially, only the TED Talk and a few demo videos. And it's already being canonized in mainstream media as one of the most important inventions of the year. The narrative around it is enormous. Time describes it as the first device that could replace your phone. Vogue runs a profile. The New York Times runs a profile. Fast Company runs a profile. Imran is on every podcast that matters. Bethany handles the operations side. The hype reaches a level that almost no consumer hardware product has hit before shipping. In that same November 2023 announcement, Humane finally reveals the price. The AI Pin will cost $699, plus a $24 a month subscription, which gives you a phone number, mobile data, cellular service through a deal with T-Mobile, and access to the AI features. So all in for the first year, about $990. For a device the size of a matchbox that clips onto your shirt. The pricing structure is, on its face, audacious. It is being marketed as an iPhone replacement at iPhone replacement prices. Pre-orders open in late 2023. The first units are scheduled to ship in March 2024, then delayed to April. Customers wait. April 11, 2024. The first Humane AI pins ship to customers. Reviewers get their units at the same time. The product is, finally, in the world. Imran and Bethany have spent 7 years and $230 million building it. The mainstream media is primed. Pre-orders have been collected. And then the reviews start rolling in. The first major review comes from David Pierce at The Verge. The Verge's score, 4 out of 10. Pierce, who has been reviewing tech for over a decade, calls the AI Pin totally broken. Battery life that doesn't last a workday. A laser projection you can't see in sunlight. Keep the accent that takes 7 to 10 seconds. Hallucinated answers. Pierce asks it when the next eclipse is. The pen confidently tells him the wrong date. The device overheats and shuts itself down. There are no apps. There is no way to add features. The AI is basically ChatGPT, but slower, and with no screen to look at. But the review that actually does the damage drops a week later, April 19, 2024. Marques Brownlee, known online as MKBHD, publishes his Humane AI Pin video. The title is unusually direct for him. The worst product I've ever reviewed, for now. Brownlee's audience is 19 million people. His reviews drive consumer technology purchases more than any single critic in the world. The video is 25 minutes long. It is careful, measured, and absolutely devastating. He goes through every promised feature. He demonstrates how each one either doesn't work, works very slowly, or returns a wrong answer. He doesn't yell, he doesn't mock, he just shows. By the end, he says explicitly he can't recommend that anyone buy this product at any price. Within 24 hours, the video has 5 million views. Within a week, 12 million. The phrase, "worst product I've ever reviewed," gets repeated everywhere. Tech Twitter piles on. Memes start. The Verge, Wired, Engadget, The New York Times. Every review that comes out over the next month confirms Brownlee's verdict. There is, by the end of April 2024, a consensus that the Humane AI Pin is one of the most disappointing consumer hardware launches in modern memory. Sales, which were already light, collapse. Humane reportedly never crosses meaningful customer numbers. Internal estimates leaked later suggest fewer than 10,000 active users at peak. Imran and Bethany respond publicly. They acknowledge the issues. They promise software updates. They emphasize that the AI Pen is the first version of a long-term vision and the platform will improve. The press releases are graceful. The CEO interviews are humble. But the damage is already done. When a product gets called the worst by the most watched tech reviewer on Earth, that label is not going to be erased by a firmware update. The narrative of the AI Pen has, in the span of 8 days in April, gone from the iPhone killer to the most expensive joke in tech. By May 2024, barely a month after launch, Bloomberg reports that Humane is shopping itself to potential acquirers. The asking price, according to Bloomberg sources, is between $750 million and $1 billion. A clear majority of the $230 million the company raised has already been spent. The founders are looking for a soft landing. For the rest of 2024, the company goes quieter. The marketing slows. Software updates ship, but the bad reviews narrative is calcified. No major buyer steps up at the asking price. By the fall of 2024, Humane is, by every reasonable read of the press, in trouble. February 18, 2025. The announcement drops. HP, yes, the printer and laptop company, is acquiring most of Humane's assets. The price? $116 million, half of what the company had raised. A tenth of the asking price from 9 months earlier. The deal explicitly does not include the AI Pin device business. HP is buying the team. Most of Humane's engineers will join HP. HP is buying the IP. HP is buying the cloud software platform Humane built, which HP plans to rebrand and reuse for enterprise AI tools. But the AI Pin itself, the product, is being killed. 10 days after the acquisition announcement, on February 28, 2025, every Humane AI Pin in the world stops working. The cloud servers that the device needed to function are turned off. The voice assistant stops responding. The phone call feature stops working. The mobile data subscription stops working. The laser projection, the most marketed feature in the launch, stops working. Customers who paid $699 plus $240 in subscription fees are left holding a small metal and glass object that does, functionally, nothing. The Humane subreddit lights up. Refunds are partial. Some customers get nothing back at all. The hardware that was once on the cover of Time magazine becomes, overnight, expensive electronic dust. Step back from the Humane story for a second and look at the pattern, because it's not unique. The graveyard of smartphone killer devices is long and expensive. Google Glass. Sergey Brin's wearable smart display from 2013. Spectacular flop. Killed within 2 years. The Magic Leap headset. $3.5 billion raised. Product reviewed as massively underwhelming. The company effectively dead by 2020. The Juicero. $120 million raised to build a Wi-Fi connected fruit press killed in 2017 after a Bloomberg video showed you could squeeze the bags by hand. The Pebble Watch, dead. The Quibi streaming service, dead. The Theranos blood analyzer, dead. The list keeps going. The pattern, visionary founders, billions in investor capital, a category-defining narrative, followed by a product that doesn't actually work the way the narrative said it would. The most direct precedent to the AI Pin is, weirdly, a product from Google 10 years earlier. Google Glass. Same basic ambition. Replace the phone with something you wear. Same kind of hype cycle. TED Talks, magazine covers, celebrity endorsements. Same kind of price, $1,500 per unit. And Google Glass failed for almost the exact same reasons the AI Pin failed. The hardware wasn't good enough. The battery didn't last. The user interface was awkward. The social acceptance problem, would you actually wear this in public, was severe. Glass became, culturally, a punchline. The phrase glass hole entered the language. Google quietly pulled the consumer glass program in early 2015. The total amount Google spent on the Glass program has never been officially disclosed, but credible estimates put it well over $500 million. The Humane founders, both of whom were senior at Apple while Glass played out, knew this history. They thought they had solved the problems. They had not. But the specific thing the Humane story added to tech history is the MKBHD moment. There is, in retrospect, a pretty good argument that one 25-minute YouTube video by one creator killed a $230 million venture-backed company faster than any single piece of tech criticism in history. Brownlee himself was uncomfortable about the impact. He posted a follow-up tweet acknowledging the weight of his platform and saying he genuinely wanted Humane to succeed. It didn't matter. The cultural verdict was set. And the broader takeaway, that a single creator can kill a hardware product on a Friday night with one well-edited video, is something every consumer electronics company now plans for. Imran and Bethany are still working in tech as of late 2025. The HP deal kept the team employed. They are, by all reports, still trying to build something that could realize the original Humane vision in a different form. They have not done many post-mortem interviews. They have generally declined to attribute the failure to any single factor: battery, hardware, marketing, hype, MKBHD. The truth is probably that the AI Pin was a product whose ambitions exceeded what the technology of 2024 could actually deliver. A 2027 version of the same idea with better batteries, faster local AI, a working projection system could plausibly work. The 2024 version did not. There is a real argument inside tech criticism about whether the press cycle was as much to blame as the product itself. The Time cover, the Vogue piece, the Vanity Fair photo essay, all of it ran before there was a working consumer unit anyone outside the team had tried. The hype was, in a real sense, manufactured by the same press that would then dismantle the product 6 months later when it shipped. Some of the most shared postmortems on the Humane story argue that the founders did the smart thing by playing the press game well, and the dumb thing by letting the press game write checks the product couldn't cash. Other postmortems argue it didn't matter. The product just didn't work, and no amount of media management could have hidden that from 1 million customers using it daily. Both views are probably partly right. The lesson, either way, is that media cycle hype is the most dangerous accelerant in consumer tech. It gets you to launch faster than the product is ready, and then it gets out of the way when the product fails. And there is one last detail worth mentioning. Sam Altman, one of Humane's most prominent early investors, has, in 2025, joined forces with another famous ex-Apple designer, Johnny Ive, to build their own AI hardware device. Their startup raised over $1 billion in funding within months. The product has not been announced. The same Silicon Valley investor playbook that funded Humane in 2018 is, in 2025, funding the next attempt at the same vision. The same investor who watched Humane fail is the lead backer on round 2, which tells you, more than any postmortem essay, what investors actually believe. The AI Pin specifically failed, but the idea behind it is not yet over. So that's it. Two ex-Apple designers leave the company in 2016. They marry. They start a stealth mode hardware startup in 2018. They raise $230 million from the most prominent investors in tech without ever shipping a product. They teased the device at TED in April 2023. They put it on the cover of Time in November 2023. They ship in April 2024. The most watched tech reviewer on Earth calls it the worst product he has ever reviewed 8 days later. The company is shopping itself within a month. Keep the accent what's left for $116 million in February 2025. 10 days later, every device in the world stops working. 12 months from Time cover to expensive paperweight in a drawer. And the same investor who lost his money on the first version is now the lead backer on the second version, with a different ex-Apple designer attached. Silicon Valley's memory is, as always, exactly one product cycle long. If this earned the time you spent watching, a like genuinely helps the channel. Share it with one friend who'd love it. And if you want more long-form tech stories like this one, hit subscribe. It means a lot. Here's the question I want to leave you with. If the Humane AI Pin was the wrong device but the right idea, what would the device that actually replaces your phone look like 10 years from now? Drop your honest guess in the comments.